Hello and Happy New Year, everyone. This is our first Cleavr Slice newsletter of 2022, and we are super excited for 2022. We have a ton of things planned. And since it's been a little while since our last update, let me get you updated with some of the new things that have come out for Cleavr over the last couple of months. First things first, we've created a new feature lab. This is going to be a place where we'll preview some of the things that we're working on. Right now, you just have to keep an eye on our release notes. If you see in our release notes that we have something behind a feature flipper, just let us know that you want to preview that and we can enable it for you. In the future, we plan on having this be self-service so you can enable new things that we're working on. And one of those things that we're working on, which is actually going to be released pretty soon, is we are now integrating with Oracle Cloud, but really just with their free server option. One of the reasons we're doing that is because we want to have a good free server that you can use during a free trial of Cleavr. And Oracle is one of the few providers that offer a free server option. So we're really looking at it for the onboarding experience right now, plus also allowing for you to have just a free server that you could use as a test playground or for some of your lower priority, lower trafficked sites. Something you may have noticed with this Oracle server is that I titled it Plain Old Server. We have a new option when adding a server to add a plain server. So if you click on Provision New Server, under Server Type, scroll down and click on Plain Server. And basically what this is going to do is just provision this with the least amount of services installed. Really, we're just talking about Fail2Ban, Firewall, SSH. One of the main things that you see missing is no Nginx. And of course, you just heard me mention Firewall. So we now have Firewall listed as a service. So you can click on this and check the heartbeat of the firewall, and then you'll see which ports are open. And if you scroll down, you probably notice the firewall rules. This is a new thing that we offer as well, which works with a UFW firewall service here, is you can go in here and enable another port. Let's say random port 44. We'll just create this real quick and allow access to everything and add rule, and we'll see that it becomes listed under the firewall rules now. And of course, if I click on check heartbeat, it's going to appear here as well, and we see it added right there. One of the main reasons why we now allow for a plain server provisioning that does not include Nginx is if you click on install services, and towards the top right here you see GitLab EE, which is their enterprise edition. You can now install GitLab on one of your servers and have your very own Git repo self-hosted on one of your own servers. And whether you set up GitLab EE with one of your Cleavr managed servers, or maybe it's just another server that's outside of Cleavr, if you go into the connection profiles, you could add a new profile under version control for GitLab EE. You see it right here, self-hosted GitLab. Another new thing is on this main menu bar right here. You probably noticed the site section. So this is an aggregate of all the sites on all the servers that you have. We just wanted to reduce some of the clicks before you had to go through the servers and in the servers, go from server to server to find the site that you might be interested in. Now it's all just listed out on this site list. And another cool thing that just dropped right before I created this video is if you expand one of these sites, you can see an associated web app. So you may know when you create a site type, usually of like Node.js or Laravel, that a web app is automatically created. So this is going to show that web app here. You may not know actually that you could create multiple web apps and assign them to the same site. So if you had multiple web apps created that are all associated to the site, they'll list out here. Back in the server section, if you're looking at one of your servers and you're looking at the monitoring, and let's say you scroll down and you see your disk space is being all the way filled up. It's not really a problem on this one, but it does happen, especially for new sites where you're working with a MySQL database and you're doing a bunch of migrations and working with the tables. A lot of metadata actually piles up in the form of logs. If I go back to the server section right here and click on the ellipsis menu, now you see clean disk space. So if you see your disk space filling up, you can clean the apt cache, you can clean out compressed log files, and system journals, and also the MySQL bin logs that I just referenced. And you could also schedule this task so that it just runs automatically on the schedule that you define here. And click on clean, and boom, it's going to clean up your server. Probably didn't need to do it every minute, but you get the gist of that. One last thing I want to highlight when you're adding a new site, and let's just make this one an easy static HTML one. and put in a random domain, and let's install free SSL. So I'm going to click on add, and it's creating this site. Since I have SSL enabled, it's going to do a verification of the domain, but obviously I do not own foo.bar, so I'm going to expect to see an error. All right, here's the error, and we know that the error is pretty frustrating because you may not know why this errored out. In this particular case, I know exactly why I errored out. It's because I tried to apply SSL to a domain that I don't actually have control over and is not pointing to the server IP. But the issue may not be that clear. So what we have now is if you expand out this card, you see the exact reason why. One of our big New Year's resolutions for 2022 is if something errors, we want you to know why. We've already implemented this with SSL when creating a site, and then also the post-creation of the site when you add an SSL. We have errors that give you more of an idea as to why it failed. And next up, we are going to work this into backups, and also probably the biggest thing is web app deployments. And these have just been some of the main things that we've been working on over the last 2 months. Another big thing that's coming out pretty soon is team functionality. To see what else we've been working on, what we've released over the last couple months, you can log into Cleavr, and then at the very top, click on that little dot, and then at the bottom, click on the release notes, and you can view the full list of release notes of the things that we've been working on.